edition LLC with gunmetal crystal edge technology screens, and soon another company rapidly we're going to be building pretty soon to wait till all the paperwork comes back. I made a decision. I have several companies that are interested in the FLE TV projection technology we developed. They're interested in selling that product. I was going to keep it strictly to the website, but I decided I'm going to be making some changes. So I am going to be, once the screen is finalized and done, I'm going to be sending out 3 samples of these screens out to 3 major distributors. I'm not going to tell you who they are because, again, I'm not discussing my business online anymore because we have people who do dumb stuff. But yeah, they're going to be getting those 3 screens. I already made it quite clear to these are the owners of these big companies that we only make so many. This is an extremely limited edition screen. I kind of like the idea too because it's something that they know it's always going to be constantly in high demand because the screen is kind of really hard to get your hands on. But where's my battery packs for these things? Phone's dying on me right here. Trying to figure out exactly where USB. So, you know, I wanted to keep it with the website and all, but you know, I got things I want to do. Hold on for a minute. I'm trying to find a USB plug back here that I can use to charge my phone up. And there. I'm not using it for anything. Now, for me to keep these screens, I'm not doing, I'm pretty sure 20 is not going to be enough for them. If we break it down and give them each 10 screens, then I would have to do 30 screens. But I'm not going over 40. Just not going to do over 40. I explained that. So basically, it's going to be, as I said before, these are going to be limited edition screens. This is going to be something where if you get one, you get one, and if you don't, you don't. I don't know what the price range. The price was supposed to be $1,700, but we'll see where that ends up at too. Because again, I'm pretty sure that these screens, well, I already know from the door they can take on certified. Keep in mind, they've never seen anything like it. Videos that I've actually shown, a few of them, they've never seen anything like it. That a screen has the ability to filter sunlight. I told you that technology is worth a ton of money. In the projection screen world, that's unheard of. That you could set a screen, even the demonstrations we do is unheard of. And the fact that they're going to watch this screen knock out the highest, most top performing screens. You're going to send them over one of the screens. They can test it themselves. It's going to basically, it's going to topple on how things are done in home theater. So I was going to keep it to the website, but I decided no, we're going to branch it out. We're going to have 3 distributors, 3 major distributors. Each one will get 10 of these screens. So we're going to have to bring the number up a little bit from 20 to 30. 30 screens, yeah, 30 screens made per month. And the reason why I decided to go with 30 screens, and some people may say, well, we 30, we can do 3 distributors, we're going to do 30 screens. The reason why I have people coming up to me saying, well, you know, you should do more, you can get more money. It ain't about the money. It's about the fact of being able to obtain that screen. That's what it's about. Having official bragging rights that you own one of these screens that are extremely rare. And that's what I want. On top of that, you got to consider the fact it's not a lot of work I got to do at the end of the day. And if I do mass production, that means I have to get a big warehouse, I got to get a huge working crew and blah, 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 blah. And I don't want that. I want to keep it simple. I can get myself a nice little small warehouse. Like I'm going to get my 3-car garage, and I can hire a couple of workers to come in, professional certified sprayers, and they can coat the surface. I was thinking about doing 120 inch, but I'm not sure on that yet. Right now, I think the official size is going to be 106. But keep in mind that, you know, they're talking about $4,000 a screen. That's what they're telling me they can get. If that screen does exactly as I claim it does, If it takes out a $5,000 screen, you know how the price of that screen will shoot up to, but I want to keep it at a price. I don't know about $3,000 a screen. I don't think I'm even comfortable with that right there, to tell you the truth. I like the $1,700 right there because I want to keep it. I don't want it to be the same as the expensive screens. I want it to be under the expensive screens, but I want to be better than the expensive screens. And then the tickle pink that the fact that the screen is solid jet black, which means, well, you won't have to worry about contrast at the end of the day, so that's not going to be a problem. So I'm going to be getting ready to set up NDAs to get ready to get these screens sent off to these individuals. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but I'm just laying the foundation for the technology that's coming out. So that's pretty fantastic. I'm going to add this up real quick, because my thing is, at the end of the day, is I don't want to do a lot of work. That's what it comes down to. I don't want to do a lot of work. I want to do, if I can go into a small warehouse, I don't have to have a massive warehouse and tons of equipment and forklift and blah, blah, blah. I don't have to have all that because I'm not doing tons of screens. I'm doing a small amount at a limited edition. It means my overhead is much smaller and I have to do less work at the end of the day. I have to file less paperwork at the end of the day because, again, not a lot. So let me see, and they get paid on commission for each one of these screens they sell to on top of that. So I'm going to be talking to these owners so they can give me an idea of what their point of view on what we should sell the screen for. I don't want to reach a certain cap on them because I need to keep them under the certifies. So let me see. On top of that, they're also interested in the window ad tech technology. Yeah, it's a wallpaper screen. You can just stick into your storefront and boom. That stuff is designed to filter sunlight. You've seen some of those demonstrations. It has that FLE technology, which means it can actually filter sunlight, which means you can advertise from 9 o'clock in the morning until whatever time, 12, 4 o'clock, whatever, and your image will never wash out. That's one of the other screens we're working on, and they're interested in marketing that, but I'm not worried about that right now. That might be not on the back shelf, but it's not something I'm thinking about right now. So we do, say, do a $2,000 a pop. Let me see. And that means I don't have to have it on my website. I can have another company market it for me. Ain't bad. That's $60,000. That's $60,000 every month. Well, consider the fact that when they take out for blah, 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 and this and that. And again, my capital's not high. I don't need expensive stuff at the end of the day. If I want to boost it to 100,000, I can boost it to 100,000, but that's not the point. The point is keep it a limited edition. See, that's the problem. When it comes to projection screens, people think about the quantity. It's not the quantity. It's how rare the screen is. That's what makes the screen priceless. So if we have this screen at around $2,000 a pop, let's say we do $2,000 a pop, that's $60,000 every month. And skimming off what they take off of blah, blah, blah. As long as I clear 35, I'm good. That's 35 grand to myself, just money to myself. So I'm good with that. And I don't have high capital at the end of the day. I mean, I'm pretty planning to buy a 7-acre property, and I'm going to build me a nice one of those little tiny homes, about 1,000 square feet home, and that's it for me. I'm good. I don't need expensive cars. I don't know all that crap at the end of the day. For me, a fantastic day for me is Netflix, soda, and a sandwich, and that's it. I'm just an everyday Joe, so I don't need all that stuff to floss. I don't need it. So again, that's more than enough money for me to keep me happy and giggly for a long time. But anyway, getting back to, because I got to think about what my financial things. I mean, pretty much I'm a gadget guy, so pretty much it'd just be gadgets because I like to experiment and work on things. This will fund some of the stuff, other projects I'm working on. But anyway, with this being said, this will keep the screen constantly in demand. So if someone decides to get mad and you lose your place, then guess what? You lose your place because, you know, it's going to be hard to get one of these things. And that's how I want to keep it. I want to keep it that whoever has one of these screens has a serious bragging rights. Yeah, especially if you're an ultra short throw. This thing's gonna make your ultra short throw look absolutely insane. You want to touch it, put it this way. This technology is gonna be so amazing that you won't go near your projection screen. Any projection screen you have in your house, I guarantee you will never use it again, including your TV. You see what that thing looks like next to a TV. And that's the screen technology that you see in the thumbnail, which has a video to match it, that sits at 60% with the projector at its lowest beyond factory settings. at a 720p versus a 1080p monitor. That's how beast this screen's going to be. And that's at 60%. So you wouldn't have to burn your projector even on eco mode. You wouldn't have to turn your settings up because the screen generates that much light. Oh, this is going to be sick. And then the wallpaper format, which was much better than the glass. The glass would be heavy, hard to install, blah, blah, blah. It'd have been a headache. The wallpaper is much easier because it's something we can roll up and stick inside of a little tube and ship it right to you, which means the shipping cost would be extremely cheap because the screen, again, can be shipped inside of a tube. If we do 120-inch, that's going to be about 5 feet high. We can ship that anywhere in the world. That's an easy ship out. And it's on a hard contained plastic tube. Other tubes I'm working on too because I want the tubes to be really hard, something that if you drop one, they won't get crushed or the screen won't get damaged. And on top of that, it's a carrying case because the screen also too becomes portable because you can just connect it to your wall like, and then basically pull it off and roll it up, put it in the tube, and you're go take it someplace else. So it's going to have a lot of interesting features to that screen. Haven't decided on front and rear technology with that yet, to tell you the truth, honestly. But anyway, keeping it with these the people that are going to be marketing this product for us, what's going to make this fantastic, and for them also too, is telling the customer how rare their screens are. And this is going to make the customer want it even more because, again, it's going to be something that they're definitely going to have. Trust me, it's definitely going to be yeah, if you've seen the demonstrations already, it's going to be an outstanding screen. But I'm going to go with the distributors. That way, at the end of the day, I'm not dealing with contracts or headaches at the end of the day. When I give, and I've gave people the opportunity. I've given people the opportunity to sell through a company, and they just can't seem to get it right. And I'm tired of it. So from now on, I'm branching out to bigger companies that have been doing it for years, companies that have a ton of weight under their belt. I'm branching out to them. I try to do it through, give people an opportunity, but again, people don't understand. We give you this opportunity, you should take it, but you don't take it. So therefore now I've made a decision to branch out to big companies only. We will no longer be issuing contracts to anybody at all, period. And that's a shame because with the 2024 technology coming out, it's going to be quite remarkable. That gaming screen, as you see, Leviathan, the Sugar Plum Fairy, which is going to be another crazy screen. We're going to be actually launching pretty soon. We're going to have our own form of customized blackout cloth, including a blackout cloth acoustic screen at 235.1. You ever seen one of those before? Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So we got some big stuff planned. All right, so I just want to put that out there real quick. We'll have information on the website, videos and stuff on the new website, but the product won't be sold there. Once we get everything set in stone, because some paperwork that has to be done, like I said, I have to have patents and copyrights and all this stuff has to be locked in. They need all this stuff to begin with, specification sheets, testing and all that stuff, and they need samples on this technology. We send everything over to them, and then from there, if they like what they see, and they're definitely going to like what they see when they unroll one of these bad boys out, we get that contract and we get the ability to distribute it and sell through them, which shouldn't be any problem at all whatsoever. Because you know why? Our stuff is tested. That's why. Keep in mind when you're dealing with these companies at the end of the day, you can't make stuff up. You can't go in and go, oh, it's this and that. No, because you literally have to back up everything you just said in your specification sheet. This is just for those people out there at the end of the day that don't even know their stuff or even the color of it. You have to know all this stuff. If you don't know this stuff, they have to advertise your product the same way you're advertising it, and it has to do exactly as you said it's going to do. So if it doesn't, guess what? They won't touch you with a 10-foot pole. And I can back up all my products, every single one of them. Now, the reason why I chose to go with the screens, it's much easier. It is so much easier to do a screen than it is to do a screen paint. Screen paint requires massive amount of documents, especially if you're doing an overseas order and you're shipping large quantities. I ain't talking about one or two, I'm talking about large quantities of it. You're going to need massive amount of paperwork for this. It's a headache. I've done this already. I did this with the Digital and Crystal screen paint when we had the contract overseas. We had a ton of paperwork that they had to do, that we had to do on both ends in order to get tons of this stuff shipped over into another country. But with a screen, that's not required at all, period. Not really. You know, because the screen's not going to spill. And then you're thinking like, all right, we got a bit of a hazard spill here. How's this stuff cleaned up? Yeah, you're going to have all that paperwork, all this documents on how we clean this mess up, if it's going to be safe for the eco system, if it's going to give off an odor, it's going to be toxic, there's all this stuff they're going to have. A screen, it's just damage, that's pretty much it. Pretty easy to do. And that's where we first initially got the invite from this company. I got to figure out where the email is at, because the email is somewhere on my account here. I got to figure out where it's at. But I think I got the original email printed out in storage and figure out exactly where it's at. It was actually sent by the owner. That's what I need to find, because I'm talking to the representative right now, and we got one actually from the owner talking directly to him. We just happened to call in on a day, and I got a chance to talk to the owner himself. But anyway, yeah, this is much easier to do. And then we were questioned, why don't we want to make hundreds and thousands of them? Because it's a lot of work. I just don't want to do it. That's why. Or you can have other people do it. Nah, because I still got to keep track of all that. I just don't want to do it. I want to make everything in 2024 connected to that new technology as a limited edition. Even the gamers, Sugar Plum Fairy, all those are going to be limited edition screens. So the biggest we're going to make this screen in, if we can find it, which shouldn't be hard to find the surface for this. Really, 106 inches easy to get. This is 120. It's the nightmare. It's hard to get. I'm going to see if I can. I got to do some research tomorrow. I literally got to track down a company that can press 120 inch, because the 120 inch would be nice. So I already got people already lined up for the 120 inch. That fellow already has our product already, and he says when you get 120 inch, let us know. 120 inch, I mean, 7.2. The other one's $2,000. They want to do $2,000. I think the minimum I'll probably do is $2,000 on the 106. But for the 120 inch, I have no idea where that's going to run to. I don't know, honestly. Yeah. So in 2025, we got plans. Yeah, I did just say 2025. I told you we have technology. We're done for 2024. Our technology is already engineered. Stuff we got to do, we already got it down packed. We're good. 2025, we're only making one screen in 2025, and this is one of the rarest screens we're ever going to develop, which means we only make one of these a year. Now, the good thing about making the limited edition real quick is the fact that, again, I don't have to make tons of them. They'll constantly always be in demand. The waiting lists will always be full. They'll be chock full with people waiting to try to get their hands on one of those screens. And very few people are going to cancel out on pre-orders for these screens. As a matter of fact, we might even I don't even want to put a pre-order in. I don't want to put a pre-order in, and I don't want to put a waiting list in. That I don't want to do. First come, first serve. Because then the pre-order becomes a problem, because there's some people that may get the money somewhere and they may be to get the screen, but they can't get it because all the pre-orders are sold out. Or basically, if you're on a waiting list and you come in last, you're going to get the bottom of the list. So no, I ain't doing it either. It's just first come, first serve. That's what we're going to do at the end of the day. I think it's better off that way. But it'll constantly keep the screen in demand. Oh man, this is what's beautiful about this is these companies are used to dealing with diamond technology, elite screen technology. See, this is why I explain to people at the end of the day why testing is important. I've tested all those gunmetal screens. I know everything there is about them, everything, their angle gain, what projectors they run off, the environments they can function in. I know all this, all that knowledge is sitting in my head. I have the ability now to basically overpower their technology because I studied it for years. So that screen, when it hits their area, when they decide to put this thing up against, say, whatever, diamond or whatever the screens, they're going to see the results. The screens are going to skyrocket like crazy. They're going to be even harder to get your hands on. Because anyone who has one of these other screens are going to desire those screens first. Because they've never won. And then on top of that, this is going to push hopefully it pushes the certified screens to develop a black technology to compete with us. But we're already ahead of that in 2025. We're already working on that because I know what the reaction is going to be. Any company would be stupid not to do so. Keep in mind, you have a technology that's coming out that literally can wipe your entire product clean off the market, and it costs far less. Who's going to spend $5,000 for a screen when you got one that can do it for at $2,000 to $1,700? Doesn't require ambient light controlled environments. It makes a 720p look absolutely immaculate. So why would you spend the money? And that is going to cause the big companies to feel threatened by our technology, which is going to make them push up their game to make a better and maybe a black certified, which we've been waiting for. Because we need one for the new technology coming out in 2025. See, business is more than just getting on camera and this, that, and the other. You have to know the strategy behind it. Sometimes you have to do it this way. Put it away, how can I explain it to you? It's like setting up security cameras. I know it's a crazy term of saying it, but this is how it works. Sometimes there's dummy cameras sitting right in front of you. Those cameras don't work at all. They're just dummies. People feel subconscious about having the camera staring them in the face. So what they'll do is they'll move to an area where there's no cameras when actually those are the real cameras sitting over there, but they're hidden. They just redirected you where they wanted you to go. Sometimes that's what you have to do. So that's why when people call themselves knowing business, you have to know the strategy behind business, like a game of chess. Sometimes you have to push people to get them to do the things that you need them to get done, so that way you can have more of a challenge later on. We need a black certified screen. So what faster way to get a black certified screen than to basically introduce this technology into the mainstream, and this will become a threat to the certified screens, which gives them no choice but to develop a black technology to compete with us. I told you I'm gonna get one way or another. Whatever it takes. I want to say a black certified screen. I would love to see one. So that's what we're going to do. It has more layers to it. So when I show off stuff, there's more layers attached to it. It isn't just showing off a screen. There is something behind it that we're working on to push to another level on something we need to see. Do they have the capability? Do they have the possibility to do this? That's what I need to know. Because if they don't, this means that my future pretty much stays intact for a very long time because they don't have the capability, nor do they understand it. Mr. Bird's a lot deeper than you thought, eh? Yeah, I am. And getting on camera and joking and laughing and all that stuff like that. It's all about business, people. That's what it comes down to. But the good thing about all of this, besides that part right there, for us, that's for us. That's the hard thing for us. For the customer, guess what? So that you go out and spend all this money for expensive TV, because we're not really concerned about the certifies. Really not. I like to see a black version. That would be nice. But really, that's not my big deal right there. My big challenge is TVs. Because we can't go against gray paints. No. We can't do white screens. And we can't do, what's the other thing for it? Certifies, because we have black technology. And therefore, since they can't generate a 100% black level, that makes our technology more advanced. So what would be the next thing? Monitors or TVs, because they can generate black levels. You know, they don't require ambient light rejection technology. So that's what our technology is engineered to go toward, the TV. There you go. And that's going to put the technology on the map, because then that means companies who make these ultra short throw projectors, they want their projectors to be recognized as a TV set-top box that you can use this just like a TV and your environment. The problem is they have the technology in that projector. It's designed to do exactly what it's designed to do. This is a knockoff, but it's designed to do what it's designed to do. But the problem is they can't get an advanced enough screen to show what the projector is designed to do. Therefore, you don't actually have a TV setup. Because if it doesn't react like a TV, it's not a TV. So that's where the fantastic part comes in. And maybe projectors will get cheaper. Who knows? Why would you have to put a 2 million to 1 contrast on a projector if your screen's already black? What would be the purpose of that? The only reason why they put a 2 million to 1 contrast on a projector is because they're not hitting them with black screens. They're hitting them on gray and white screens, which is required. You don't need it. It's an option they don't need, which means that makes the projector far cheaper because it's an option they're not going to need. See how it all works out? Fantastic. It's like whoever came with the idea for the cassette player when they had 8 tracks. They're like, oh, no, man, this is crazy, man. Why would anyone want to change it? Because they're smaller, they're easier to use, and the 8 tracks are fantastic. Don't get me wrong, it's nice technology, but they're big and bulky, and you got to stack them in crates and all kinds of stuff. And then that transferred over to CD, and CD's much clearer, more crisp, better sound, and then it transferred over to download everything. Changing of technology. All right, people, hope you enjoyed the update. I'm happy about it. I'm happy with the decision. I'm definitely going with it 100%. with branching out to the bigger companies. Keep in mind, this is not big company. We're not talking about elite screens. We're not dealing with any projection. Why would we? They're just pointless. We're dealing with distributors only, big time distributors that's going to market this product for us. Gotta go. Thank you all, and God bless.